Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TEEsabez Show. We have an all-star cast as always. Tonight we have the Dane.
Salutations.
So, just had a little wood night, pretty classic episode. We're probably gonna talk about video games, talk about, greater Cleveland shenanigans, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, Dane, this is kind of fun because I always have this, inaugural question that I always ask everybody when they're on the show for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite bar in the greater Cleveland area?
Well, it's actually hard. I mean, for the uninitiated, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol.
Yes, but you have been to a decent amount of places at this point.
Yeah.
From the casino to, 16-bit,
16-bit,
and in between, so.
I'm inclined to say 16-bit because of the arcade machines and stuff, but I don't know, man. Happy Dog's up there just because of how good the food is.
Happy Dog's a great bar too, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been there a number of times. Have we been there when a band's playing? I think we have actually.
I have.
Yes.
Have I been there with you when they've had the polka nonsense, or is it just the?
Dude, the polka nights. That's a totally different story. But
or just the regular live bands.
Remember I went with one of your coworkers, and there was a band, I think.
Oh yeah.
They gave us vinyl and everything, I think.
Yeah, that was just like a local band. It wasn't the polka nonsense.
So would you say probably Happy Dog then, maybe even?
It's hard. It's either that or it's what do you call it? 16-bit.
16-bit. 16-bit's a great bar. We actually went there tonight and played a little, pinball, not ping pong. Yeah, but pinball and all that kind of stuff. So great place to go,
Mm-hmm. I think it's Happy Dog though. It's
the food.
It's a dive bar. That food's so good, man. It's tots, man.
And it's a Polish dive.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want this to be a little bit of extension on the last podcast, which went well because we had a game podcast. But everyone I had was really biased. They were all rooted PC gamers. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, of all the people to have on a show, you don't think I have biases?
And hey, that's okay. But you've always been a console guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mainly.
And I would like to get you guys all on the show at some point because when we talked on nostalgia, they had a lot of moments that they talked about with the N64 and the PS1 and even the SNES.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a lot. But when it comes to modern gaming, when I got to that part of the conversation, they really only could talk about computer stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but anyway, I'm gonna kind of throw the same questions at you that I threw at them.
Okay.
And I think I might have asked you this the other night, but what was the first video game you ever played?
Well, and I told you at the time, I'm having a timeline conundrum where I was young when I got my Game Boy Color and my 64.
Yes.
I don't remember which one I got first because I was so young. I think it was the Game Boy Color.
Okay.
I'll give you the both just in case. The 64, I got the bundle that came with Pokemon Stadium.
Yes, oh my god, what a great game.
The game's fantastic. At the time that was the yellow and blue era, and the red and blue era.
Yeah.
Blue, yellow, and all you had was the pixel art and the janky Game Boy stuff. So having the 3D duels with the Pokemon was crazy.
And what's so funny about that game? Because it's a 64 game. And living in 2019, we know what it looks like now. But in my memory, because I haven't seen that game in probably 15 years. It looks extremely graphic in my memory.
It's not as choppy as you think. It's not God of War, but it's not as choppy as you might think. It's because the character models are kind of chibi and they're not meant to be all hyper realistic and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually holds up okay.
That's
for
interesting.
what it is. It's not perfect.
And it's pretty much 3D Pokemon turn-based combat, right?
Yeah, it's just like the Game Boy games, but it's in 3D, and you've got the announcer from the anime.
That's awesome.
Narrating everything.
And you can do verses, right? You versus your friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome.
They even had that little peripheral you could buy. You could hook up to the back of the controller and snap your Game Boy cartridge in, and you can import your team from red or blue and play with that.
Oh my god, seriously?
Uh-huh.
I didn't. I actually didn't know that.
I had that attachment, yeah.
And see, that's my fault, because I mean, I never had a Nintendo console as a kid. Honestly, if you want to talk handhelds and consoles, the only Nintendo consoles I've ever owned was the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy SP.
Yeah.
I've never had a console, but I had 2 handhelds. And honestly, the only Pokemon game that I truly played, I think I might have owned, like, Crystal for the SP, but I don't think I really dived into it. The only one that I truly played was Silver. So I missed out on, like, the first round of games, so I didn't even know that was a thing for Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, Stadium 2 lets you. I think Stadium 2 lets you import your Gold and Silver team. I never had Stadium 2. I ended up renting it. That was like during the renting era.
Renting. Remember when that was like awesome?
That was my life, man.
It was like, dude, I can scramble up enough money to acquire this game for like 5 days, and it's like fathomable as like a 10-year-old, you know?
Dude, yeah. I mean, that was such a huge part of my life. I mean, I think you know this story.
Yeah.
My grandma won a contest on WGAR country music.
Actually, don't wait. What is this?
You don't know this story?
No, go ahead.
This is like what got me like super hella into games. My grandma won a contest on friggin' WGAR country music station for a year worth of free something rentals. You got to rent one thing a week.
It was like Hollywood Video or some shit.
Blockbuster Video. And she had no use for it. She just like won contests all the time on the radio just for fun. And she just like was like, hey, like let Nathan like rent movies or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, Blockbuster has games. We're just gonna play 52 video games this year.
Dude, so that
Dude,
really,
being like 10, like, yeah.
that expanded the fuck out of your horizon, man.
Mm-hmm. That was like end of my 64 days, early Cube days.
Oh,
so I got
perfect.
I got a ton of games.
Like right around 2000, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, early thousands.
That's perfect, man. My god.
Yeah, it was great. I ended up renting Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube like 5 different times in a row because it's so long. I just kept re-renting it.
I mean, for free, yeah. I mean, for that, what a scenario.
Yeah, so
there's not a lot of people that experience that. That's for sure.
That was a big part of my early childhood playing games.
So, if it was the 64, it was Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
And if it was the Game Boy,
Matchbox Construction for the Game Boy Color,
wow.
Dude. Yeah,
that's deep.
I got a couple different games like pretty close, like off rip, but that was what they got me with it when I was little. I think it was. Wow. I think that was my first console, man. I'm pretty sure it was the Game Boy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, mine was for sure the PS1, Crash 3, first game ever for sure. I probably did get the Game Boy Color before the PS2. It's hard for me to remember. I never bought it. Like, kid down the street literally like was older than me by like 5 years and just didn't have a use for it anymore, so he gave me his old Game Boy Color. You remember Thomas?
Yeah.
And that's how I got a Game Boy, and then I ended up buying games for it. But yeah, and I had Home Alone 2 and Donkey Kong and like, you know, Silver and a bunch of weird games. But yeah. So here's one that I definitely don't think I know for sure.
Okay.
For you. What was your first online gaming experience?
Okay. Definitely something on PC. Because you're talking, you know, pre 2005.
Yeah.
Xbox. Well, I didn't have an Xbox.
I never had Xbox Live either. Yeah.
I didn't have an Xbox. I had a 360, so I didn't play like Halo Online.
Yeah.
It's probably something on PC. Might have been World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
It might have been World of Warcraft. I'm trying to think.
What a good
You know
one.
what? Excuse me. It's not. It's RuneScape.
Oh my god.
It's fucking RuneScape.
What a game.
Yeah, man. That was a game.
I never got in on the RuneScape hype, and I'm so jealous because everyone I talk to just loved it. They're like, it was the best experience of my life, and I'm like, I mean, you look at it and it just looks terrible, but everyone just had so much fun with the game. It's like, maybe I should just spend like a whole night and just, because I guess they rebooted the original game, and just give it a shot. You know
can
what I mean?
Play old school RuneScape with the old graphics and stuff. No joke, true story. A kid in my CCNA class right now is consistently playing RuneScape on his phone during class, like the old school RuneScape, and it's
on the phone.
In 2019, on mobile, he's playing RuneScape.
That's RuneScape mobile. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's hilarious.
I didn't even know it was on mobile.
Neither did I. Wow.
Yeah, man, it was a big deal back when that was, you know, it was like a phenomenon at the time, and you know, I mean, Josh and I played, and it was a whole.
Josh, oh my god, you played with Josh. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
See, I'm just so late, like with I mean, like I said, when I played my first game, it was probably like 98, 97, 98. I think it was Crash 3, whenever that came out, somewhere around that time. But I didn't play my first online multiplayer experience was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I skipped class. in high school. I walked over to a guy's house that was near us with Josh, which was our friend from high school, and he had an Xbox 360. It was probably 2006, maybe. It was probably like my sophomore year of high school, and he had MW2, and I played, and I think I had my first.
When that came out.
Yeah, I think I had my first, maybe 2007 even. It might have been 2007. But I won free for all at Rust with Kimbo handguns.
Rust. Oh, with the models.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was called Kimbo. Yeah, I mean it's like dual wielding now, but in
Yeah.
that game they call it Kimbo for some stupid reason.
Yeah, dude, that was a great game. That was before. I mean, the game's not perfect and it never will be, but like that was before they really had a handle on a lot of different aspects. Like the main thing was the kill streak cap, and that you could have like 6 planes going on at once in that game.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Pre Black Ops.
You could just have like 30, 40 kill streaks, just hide in a corner, like call them into Harriers.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's when kill streaks fed your kill streaks. And so you would get Harriers at 7 kills, or I think it was 6 if you're using hardline.
You just had to get 6 or 7 kills and that was game.
You drop them in. That would get your AC 130, and your AC 130 would rack up like 10 more, and then you just got to get a couple more, and you got the nuke, and you win.
Oh my god, the nuke!
The tactical nuke.
I forgot about the tactical
25
nuke.
kills.
That was an insta-win, right?
I think it was 25.
And that was an insta-win. I mean, the match literally ended when you tactical nuked, right?
Yep.
I forgot that was a fucking... I never got that. I never experienced that.
No, I never got it.
But
I was lucky to get the AC 130.
I forgot that was a thing. I truly forgot that was a thing. I remember matches ending to nukes, though.
Oh, I remember that. And you got Simon Riley on the mic. It's over!
There has not been a nuke since MW2, right?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I stopped paying level 10 attention to it after...
No, you know what, man?
Modern Warfare 3.
I swear I remember Nuke Town getting nuked, but maybe that's just how the match always ended.
The match always ended with the nuke animation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that was Black Ops 1 was when that first came out, right?
Yeah. Now they've done it to death, and it's in every Black Ops game.
Oh, man. Good times. So first online gaming experience. So I guess I think the next question would be, and you can be generic about it. You can say franchises. Doesn't matter what platform. Doesn't matter what era. Whatever. Top 3 video games of all time, Dane.
Okay, I actually think I have a concrete answer for this currently. It's hard. It's like picking your favorite kids, but
yes,
I think I have my top 3 kind of nebulous in a random order.
Yeah.
How do you want me to do this? Just like say, we'll talk about each one at a time.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like 1 to 3, but if you have an order, do it for sure.
I don't know if I do.
But just 3. You can just do like what is 3?
So like the new God of War is probably 3rd. It's in the mix. It's in the mix at least.
God, I still haven't played, man.
It's amazing. It's a damn near perfect game, and I don't really believe in the perfect 10 system. These games can always be improved.
So that says even more than though.
But like
right?
I would, if I were working at like a trade publication like that, I would have given IGN or like IGN something like that. I would have given that game a 10.
That's awesome.
Story's great. The game is one long linear camera shot. It fixes the problem I had with the original God of War, which is that Kratos sucks and he's not interesting or someone you want to root for. They totally fixed that.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah,
I had the same problem, actually.
All it was this ball of anger who was annoying and like mad and just Calliope, Athena. Like, that was his entire personality, and they totally fixed that.
That's awesome.
The boy who I thought I was gonna hate was like awesome. He was great the whole game. The combat's perfect.
That's awesome.
Like, it's amazing. There's flaws. Every game has flaws, but it's great. It's fantastic. I would recommend that to everybody. That's damn near perfect game.
God of War, man, that is. God, I need to play that game. I mean, Donkey gave it a great review. You've been a huge advocate of it. I mean,
I'll loan it to you. I have it hard copy.
You actually own that game hard copy.
Yeah.
And it came out in late 2018.
April. That was before.
Okay.
That was before the Best Buy membership expired, where I was getting 20% off at Best Buy.
Wow. Have you bought? Here's a question. So this is trailing off a little bit. So for the record, me and Dane have this little thing where we're both console gamers to the heart, but I have folded to the digital future.
Yes.
Sadly, and Dane is still holding on.
I'm trying.
Like it's a brother.
It's becoming harder. It is a brother. I grew up with the digital future. I like having game boxes on my shelf. I like the.
See, this is so good too, because we actually talked about the digital future in the last podcast where I had nothing but PC gamers over, and I'm glad that we talked about this because I actually asked them a question that I was going to forget to ask you. And we're going to go back to the other two favorite games of Dane before we end this conversation.
Sure.
But I actually asked them, you know, so it was something along the lines of, you know, is the PS5 going to be the last generation of consoles, or is it going to continue on? And they threw some. They were actually very generous, and not necessarily generous, but they were very open-minded about it all. I actually expected them to be more classic PC master race about it, but truly they were like, you know, I mean, it's so much cheaper to buy a console. It plays all the modern games. That was kind of like the positive standpoint of them continuing to stick around. And the more negative side of it was they were kind of thinking like, well, maybe it'll end up being kind of like an iPhone thing, you know, where, you know, maybe the iPhone 11's not totally different than the iPhone 10 at this point because of technology, but, you know, they make an iPhone 11 and then they kind of push software against the iPhone 10. Like, is that going to end up being consoles?
Well,
like,
see,
I don't know.
This is kind of
you know
how
what
the
I mean?
PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X were.
Yeah.
There were these iterative hardware jumps where they're like, oh, you know, it's not. If you want to like pay an extra $400 or $500 and get like the better machine that I'm not by the mic enough, but that runs the software better and works better and has 4K and stuff, then, you know, good for you, and, you know, give them the money, and you can still play all your PS4 games on both, and we're not going to make PS4 Pro exclusive games and stuff. And that personally pissed me off, because when they announced Neo, which was the code name for PS4 Pro at the time, all you're saying to people, because they announced that early, like a couple years in, they started talking about it. All you're saying at that point is, everyone who got us here, fuck you. All the early adopters who bought our 40 million units that sold prior to this, you now have an inferior box, and go buy another one. And I did, and now I have two PS4s, as does Justin, you know. But
damn,
it's obnoxious. But, you know, and people think that might go that way, but, you know, Sony's made it very clear they're working on PS5. I don't know what Xbox Scarlet is, but I'm assuming it's a new line of hardware for them. The whole thing with it, I don't think it's going to be over for a while, and I think Nintendo is a big reason for that.
Nintendo,
I thought
that was not brought up in the last podcast.
So I thought they were done. Prior to the Switch, I was like, this company, when they announced NX and they showed it off at the first direct, and they're like, oh, this thing's like $1 million and all the peripherals are $80 and like there's like no games for it coming out right away, and we're talking about it being some portable hybrid thing. I was like,
yes.
I was like, this is dumb as hell. This is gimmicky.
Yeah.
This is gonna bust, and then they're gonna be Sega, and they're gonna put Smash Bros on the PS6, and that's it. They're done, and that's good for games because they've been consistently. This was me at the time. Because they've been consistently putting out garbage hardware that you begrudgingly buy because it has amazing games on it. And you know what? Like, they got me, man. The Switch is so good, and it's such an innovative thing.
Cheapest console on the market right now.
Yeah, you can bring it handheld to work or school or whatever, and you can play it at home like it's a big boy console. I did that with Breath of the Wild. I played it on my TV. It's awesome. So I don't know now. I think they had that Sega conversation internally, and we're like, well, let's maybe make this a contingency plan, maybe down the line. And then the Switch happened, and they're just like, okay, let's just keep rolling. And I don't think they're going to be done for a long time. And I don't know if Micro and Sony will ever say, all right, let's just move to PC and make our own store like the Epic Games Store or whatever, and let's just move to PC and let, you know, little Timmy only that whole market for little Timmy be totally owned by Nintendo because it's so cheap.
And that's a huge market. It makes you really wonder, you know. I mean, God, and that's as successful as Microsoft and Sony have been over the last 10 years. That's where Nintendo has still got it, because those other two consoles just keep getting more and more expensive. Let's be honest. I mean, how much should the? I mean,
not it depends. Like,
Nintendo's always got them by $150, right?
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, I was gonna say those consoles are cheaper than they've ever been.
They were cheaper than
now.
This
I mean, you can get a PS4 for $200 right now.
You can, but we're late in the cycle, though. I'm talking about launch
was
prices.
6,
and then the 5 was 5.
4 was launched 4.
Oh, the PS4 launched at 400?
Yeah, the X1 launched at 500 because of the stupid Kinect bundled in, and then they immediately welched on that and put it out at 4 to compete with the PS4.
Well, that's impressive, actually. That is impressive, actually.
Yeah.
But, okay, so that's interesting, but, wow. I mean, the Nintendo, though, I gotta be honest, like...
Their stuff's cheap. The Wii was $250. I think the Wii U was $350, but I think it was garbage.
The Wii U is a weird
The Cube,
console.
I don't even remember what the Cube launched at, but that was very cheap, and the PS2 was expensive. If I remember,
$600-700.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're good at that, and you know they're what the value you're getting with the Switch is the value of buying a better 3DS and a better Wii U together as a console. So
and it's better.
And it's cheap and it's way better.
The controller's great. I mean, the Joy-Cons are very innovative.
For what they are, I mean, you're getting a game system that can technically out of the box have 2 controllers.
It's
and
so
they're
crazy.
They're mini, and I mean, I got big hands, so maybe I'm biased against it, but like, they're like, I don't know, they're kind of small, but like, but like for you know your kids, if you want to buy them a big Christmas present, it's like the Switch. They could crack that open and play Mario Kart from the Mario Kart bundle against each other with just what's in the box, because the Joy-Cons can technically be used as their own controller.
So smart.
It's genius. It's genius.
And there's a lot of games where you only need as many buttons that are on the Joy-Con.
Well, I mean, it's a whole controller worth almost.
Yeah, in Mario Kart, you're good. Yeah, totally good.
When you pop it off, it's got the little L and R buttons on the top. Like, it's cool.
I mean, there's some games that are pretty complex where probably the Joy-Con dumps it down, but there's especially when you want to talk about multiplayer competitive.
Yeah.
Mario Kart. Fuck yeah, you can play it on a Joy-Con. Not an issue. I played 9 Parchments on a Joy-Con. Just one. There's like 6 buttons. You know, it's like you got your move button, you got your camera button, and you got your abilities. That's it. You know?
Sure.
Easy. Obviously, if you're playing Bayonetta 2, it might be a little dumbed down, but tons of party games, which is what you're going to be playing when you split them off, that you can totally play.
Yeah, you're not going to be sitting there playing Breath of the Wild by yourself with the one Joy-Con.
Yeah.
It's all party mode stuff.
But you always get 2, you know? So it's just for breaking off to play multiplayer.
It's genius.
It is genius. It looks so wonky, and then they just blew everybody's mind, you know?
Oh, you know, and it makes you wonder what happened with the Wii U, because if you look at it, it's like when you look at it in hindsight, it's
weird.
It's an in-house prototype for the Switch.
Really?
I'm not saying it's an official press release or anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but what's the perspective on it though?
When you look at it, I mean, like, it's because the gamepad was like trying to do what the Switch did poorly. It was this big old chunky Fisher-Price tablet, and it said, hey, beam your game here, and you can like take it into the living room or into the kitchen from the living room and like play it kind of with some latency and like
that
a shitty
cool.
resolution.
That is
like,
actually cool when you think about
over
it.
here, like 20 feet with infrared, and it kind of looks like the Switch put together, but like poorly. If you and
like
made
literally
by Fisher-Price, like
the Wiimote is basically a shitty version of the Switch. Not even like the Wii, but the gamepad is like the fucking Switch, basically. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, it makes you wonder what happened. And I think 2 things happened. I think it wasn't ready, and it was a dumb prototype. And I think they didn't make any video games for it. Yeah. Which is the main thing. The Switch came out with Breath, and then it had like kind of a lull. But then you got, you know, Mario Odyssey and Splatoon 2. That all these indies, Bethesda ported almost all their games over to it.
I know. There's not a company on earth that I love and hate more than Bethesda, man. And I mainly love them.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is entitled to one mistake, and that is totally fine. That I've gotten more out of Bethesda games than I've gotten out of a lot of companies. And you know what? I'm not going to sit there and
And I was excited.
Hate on BioWare now because of Mass Effect Andromeda.
And I'm part of the problem. I tooth and nail begged them for this game.
Yeah.
And I was wrong. So I'm not leaving them. Trust me. When Fallout 5 comes out, I'll be right there. I'll spend $60 the second it's available, and I'll be as excited as you could possibly fucking be. But damn.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to grasp. And the setting was so cool, and the idea was so cool. It was just they did do the thing we always talk about, where it's like you try to please everybody and you end up pleasing nobody. Where you took the Taylors of the world and you didn't lean all into that idea.
Yes.
And it wasn't good enough. And then you take the Me's of the world and you take away what I like about Fallout. And so neither of us are happy. And then you release the game when it's in alpha and it doesn't work. So, I mean, Jesus.
I heard it has gotten better.
Well, it's too late.
But yeah,
this is the same. We talk about a game like No Man's Sky, and that game apparently I can't look at it through a fresh lens anymore. I just can't. But supposedly, all the content they've put out, all the fixes they've made, all the world fixing, and all the base building, and the new story, and all this stuff is supposed to make that game actually pretty darn good. But it's like, you missed your window, man. I bought this game. I spent far too much time on it. Embarrassingly got the platinum trophy. And,
I can't believe you got the platinum.
It was terrible, and they lost my business. I mean, they got me. They won. I paid for the thing, but
God damn it. Well, my record player appears to be giving us an issue, so I'm gonna adjust that really quickly.
What's happening to the record player?
I think my needle is screwed up. So hold on.
Welcome to behind the scenes of the TEEsabez Show. I'm your host of this behind the scenes segment, Nate/Dane.
I think that's better.
How do y'all feel about pineapple on pizza?
You know what? Let's shoot off for a second.
We're on tangent 50. We gotta
we
gotta pull it back in here.
This is good. I like tangents, and you're right. All right, pineapple on pizza is a great debate. That's gonna be my next thing. I've always asked people what their favorite bars are in Lakewood. I'm gonna start asking people how they feel about pineapple on pizza.
The only answer is let people do what the fuck they want. If they want to put pineapple on pizza, that is their God-given right by the founding fathers. All right?
Dude, I like pineapple on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza, dude.
I'm gonna start asking.
If I didn't, it's like, who cares? Nobody has this argument about like olives and anchovies, all this vile stuff you can put on pizza. It's
dude,
like,
I'm so ready.
Why is it so ridiculous?
I'm so ready for the first person on here who's like, fucking hate pineapple on pizza. Fuck that shit.
Man, people get vehement about that shit. I don't understand. People fight to the death over that shit. But anyway. Trailing back.
Favorite video games of all time. Obviously, you said for your modern one, it was God of War.
Yes.
That was one of your three.
Yes. The other two I have very clear answers on. One of them being Pokemon Crystal.
That was the Advanced, correct?
No, that was the third of the Gold Silver trilogy. That was like, it came out right after Gold and Silver, and it had all of the Pokemon in both.
It was like the combined. Like there was green for the first two, right? Something like that.
Yellow, technically. Green was blue for Japan.
Oh shit! Okay.
It was green and red in Japan, and blue was what we had for yellow.
So it was yellow then. That was one that was all then. Okay.
Yeah, but yellow was a weird case because it was like based on the anime, and you had to start with Pikachu, and there was some weird shit going on.
So Crystal was gold and silver combined. Then.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So very similar to Crystal.
And I played through Silver once, but Crystal was the one that I played the most, and I mean Gen 2 is really just the answer. GSC is the answer, but Crystal was the one I played the most.
When you're talking about like our generation, I mean we were like born early 90s, like late 90s is when we like got into shit.
Yeah.
Like if you were like a 97, 98, 99 through like let's say like 97 through like 03 kid, you were like Gen 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we were born before that, but
yeah. I mean like that's like when we were like into Pokemon.
Oh, I mean? Yeah, sure.
Like we were born like in the early 90s, so we were like 8. I mean, during Gen 2. I mean, what I mean?
I played Blue, and I've gone back and played them since, but and I played Blue when I was young, but like I mainly I mainly got into Crystal when I was a kid, and
Absolutely.
Silver. That game was amazing. That has one of my favorite like memories of games is just when you get through the Elite Four and Professor Elm calls you and he's like, "Hey man, so like Kanto's over there. It's a foot away. It's a whole continent we forgot to mention. And you go fight all the gym leaders from Blue, and they're way stronger, and you get to go play the entire first game again, essentially, on this cartridge. And that was such a special moment to me to go back and do all that, and then you fight yourself from the original game. You fight Red, who was the character from the original game. He's got the whole crew. He's got all the starters. He's got the Pikachu. He's got the Snorlax.
So fucking cool.
It's so rad. That was a very special game to me. I love that game, and I will always love Gen 2 more than anything.
Yeah, you definitely have a more diehard, past with the Pokemon games, but I like I said, I played Silver. Entei is my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Entei's sweet.
Gen 2, Gen 2 legendary. Had a holographic.
This kid.
Yeah, go ahead.
This kid had.
This is some shit I fucking did.
We're best friends. We used to play some games all the time back in the day, and this man had a level 100 Furret. And if you're not familiar with Gen 2, Furret is the equivalent of Raticate. This man got a level 100 Furret as his main Pokemon, and the worst part of all of it is it wasn't bad. He did well with this thing, and like bodied half my team with it half the time. It was absolute mania. That's like one of the most ridiculous stories.
I'll never forget. We were probably like 7, 8, 9 years old. I don't know. And we game linked. You'd been playing, like, you knew the meta. I didn't know shit. All I did was I got a Furret, and I just went to like fields and fought random low tier Pokemons for like 40 hours and grinded this thing to 100 with no rhyme or reason. And you were like doing the meta. You knew what the fuck was going on. And you had this like level 60 Gyarados. And I fucking destroyed it with a Furret with Surf. And you were so pissed. Like I
remember that day.
I think you ended the night.
I remember that day. You knocked out my red Gyarados and my Feraligatr with that thing.
Which is so ridiculous because they're both water Pokemon. I'm like using Surf on it and they're getting fucked because my shit's so like much high level.
That's the danger of RPGs. It's the level system.
Dude, oh my god. And at the time I knew I was fucking your night because they looked way cooler than mine, but I didn't even understand. I'm like, mine's 100, you're 60. I mean, of course I'm gonna win. I didn't realize I was knocking out like a legendary Gyarados with a water attack as a Furret.
Holy god. That was the best.
Oh yeah. Just sitting on my parents' front porch with a freaking game link, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Those are the days, man. I love that game. Such a just a cacophony of memories for that. That was the first game I did the Nuzlocke challenge on later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game.
Man, there's some hilarious RPGs out there too. I mean, like the basketball player. What is it?
That's not a real game.
It basically is a real game.
Are you talking about Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, the Charles Barkley story?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That was a game somebody made in RPG Maker, but it's like 60 hours long, and it's hilarious.
That's legit. I mean, if your game's 60 hours long, it's real. Like, I don't care.
I mean, it's grinding. It's so funny.
You beat that game, didn't you?
I didn't beat it. I watched somebody beat it. I got like halfway through it. I still want Justin to play it. He hasn't seen it yet. It's so funny, man. It's a whole RPG that they wrote fake plot for that takes place. It's a spiritual sequel to the Space Jam movie.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
And the base story is that some unnamed basketball player or b-ball player does a chaos dunk in New York City and destroys it. And that b-ball is outlawed because it's like dangerous weaponry and shit. And there's like an underground fight club of b-ballers.
Dude, that's so good.
It's so stupid.
It's like Fight Club.
I didn't perform the chaos dunk.
Isn't Charles Barkley's like fighting dragons and shit, right? Like,
Oh yeah, there's all sorts. I mean, there's a ghost of Bill Cosby called Ghost Dad. You have to fight. It's
you play as Charles Barkley too. He's like
he's the main party member. Yeah, him, and then Hoops Barkley, which is his non-canon son, who doesn't exist. Hoops with a Z, and then Balthios Jordan, who is from the future, I think, and he's like Michael Jordan's like great grandson.
Oh my god.
And then some robot named Cyber Dwarf.
So good.
Who's got like basketball texture grafted onto his skin for skin.
That's so good. RPG Maker is amazing. I mean, there's so many ridiculous games that exist because of that.
Don't let Obama steal your gold.
Yeah, don't let Obama steal your fucking gold. It's like a Flash game that you can play on your phone. It's like 30 minutes long. It's like a legit like role-playing game. It's like ridiculous.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
But, all right, so we got Pokemon Crystal. We have God of War. What else would you say, Dane?
Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game.
Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game. Love that game.
I gotta play it.
You do. The problem, and I was talking to Spencer maybe about this.
Okay, I mean, he's one of our online gaming buds.
Is that Mass Effect 1 aged okay, and the other two aged very good.
So can I just start with 2? Would that be a problem?
Here's the thing, like you could the gameplay the gameplay is so much better in 2 and 3. The gameplay is like kind of hard in 1 to get around in 1, but like the trilogy. The big point of the trilogy is bringing your save file over and like living with the story that you've made throughout the 3 games.
Are those on PS4 or would I have to play it on PC?
You'd have to play it on PC or PS3.
Which is fine. I'll play it on PC. I don't care.
I
think it's a shooter. I love playing shooters on PC.
I had this discussion with somebody, and it's like they should have just released this. Every game on Earth has been remastered now. Why didn't they remaster this trilogy for the PS4 and Xbox One?
Yeah.
And I think it's because they didn't want it to make Andromeda look bad. Because Andromeda looked so bad.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What a goddamn shame. Yeah. Andromeda's such a joke. Like, what a flagship. I mean, I've looked it up so many times. I try to memorize it, but I can never memorize the names of the generations. What is the 360 PS4?
What, the number
of that generation? I can never remember. 7.
Yeah.
So like, I mean that is a flagship trilogy from Gen 7.
Oh yeah.
I mean it's.
Mass Effect 2 is a lot of people's favorite game. I'm a basic bitch for that.
I mean, you got the Fallout games, you got Gears of War, and
Creed.
You got, and you got
Bioshock.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I mean, Mass Effect's huge. I mean, so in Andromeda was like a joke that was like under the radar and no one cared about. It's ridiculous.
They cared about it.
I mean, they did, but only Mass Effect fans though. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they hated it. That was the thing.
That's the thing. Like,
it didn't fly under the radar. It flew
Yeah.
in front of the radar.
But
and it was like, shoot that thing.
This is the thing though, man. As a non-Mass Effect fan, because I've never played any of the Mass Effect games. When during the Gen 7. I heard tons of shit about those games. Like, people talked about them constantly, and I heard about them all the time. If it wasn't for you being a Mass Effect fan, I don't even know if I would know Andromeda existed, man.
You might have heard the controversy.
Maybe a little bit.
It's everywhere.
It is, but like if you weren't a Mass Effect fan, it failed so bad that it wasn't even like it was just like it just tanked. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't.
Well, this is what happens.
None of your friends suggested to you to play. You know what I mean?
This is what happens when you give away your baby to your B team because you want to make Anthem, which looks awesome.
And Anthem's good, but they shouldn't have done that.
The beta's good.
They should not have done that though.
Well, I think
Anthem is good though.
I think they were done. I think that the core BioWare team was done. I think they didn't want to make any more Mass Effect, but EA was like, hey, I really want you to make money off this property we've invested in. So we'll let you keep making your project, whatever it was called, game Anthem at the time, and we're gonna give this to the B team, okay, Casey? And then I think that's kind of how it.
What a shame. It's kind of like Gears of War Judgment, though, right?
We don't talk about Gears of War.
No. But for real, like, all right. So obviously, same thing. Like literally, same shit. Right? I mean,
the main two guys, Cliff Bleszinski and Rod Ferguson, didn't work on Judgment, and they farmed out most of it to People Can Fly, who did Bulletstorm, and that's why Gears of Judgment is bad. Mm-hmm. And they brought Rod Ferguson back he has his own studio now called Black Tusk. Oh, it's called the Coalition now. They renamed it for Gears, but yeah, and now the games are good again because they let the A-Team back on it.
Yeah.
So I both do and don't want Mass Effect to have that happen where they just, after Anthem, they're going to let Casey and the big boys write for it again and maybe fix it. But at the same time, part of me just wants to pretend Andromeda never existed and just have the trilogy and just be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember how good was Aftermath was, or whatever the hell?
Yeah.
That game was so thrown together, right?
Aftermath.
I mean, what a random as shit game. It's like here's like a full price $60 game. And when you start the game, there's going to be two things you can select, and one is the 2 hours of rando shit that the A-Team made before they left, and then there's this other bullcrap game.
Yeah, that was like kind of Gears 3 DLC that they never finished, but like they changed the story. They swapped Baird and Cole in, and it was like their adventure that you don't see during the third act of Gears 3, and there's like armored Cantus and all the Gears 3 enemies in it, and the controls are like Gears 3. And it was fun because it wasn't Judgment.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think that was really meant to be DLC for 3 that they just took too long on, and then they're like, let's just like put it in this pile of rubbish.
I'll admit though, when it comes to Gears of War, I'd probably say that 3 is my favorite, but I really like 2. 2 and 3 are super close for me. 2's right there, man. Like it's
really hard for me too. You have these big emotional resonance moments in both of them, and
3's probably my favorite.
3's worse now. 3's worse now because of 4. I didn't finish 4. I didn't get very far in 4. I mean, you played the parts of 4 I played.
Yeah.
The best part of 3 is like the end, and it's like there's peace and Dom. I mean, spoilers for a 1,000-year-old game.
Yeah.
Dom sacrifices himself for the team, and he's like, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna go be with Maria, and I'm gonna like help the team. And Marcus's dad dies, and you go through all this bullshit so that the Locust War can be over, and Marcus and Anya get to be together, and there's peace. And then Gears 4 is like, oh, by the way, they're not locusts, but they're locusts, and they're back, and Anya's dead, and the world's shit again.
Though man, and maybe my gap between playing 3 and 4 was so big that the emotions that I felt when 3 ended haven't changed at all. And
I love 3. And
like I almost feel like it's not the same. I mean, it is the same, but anything that happens in 4 still won't change how I felt about 3, just because it's like it's almost like a new game now. Even though it's the same, I can't feel the same way. But 2 was great too. I mean,
2 was sad.
I gotta admit, like
it was great though.
1, and this is part of my biasness. I mean, I started with 2.
Yeah.
I actually beat 2. The first Xbox 360 game I ever played was with Josh, our buddy Josh Taylor. Gears of War 2. We beat straight through in one night. First time I ever played it. So I remember the first 4 hours I had no idea what I was doing because I was fumbling around this controller that I'm not used to, and by the end of the night I had mastered it for that particular game.
The active reload.
But it was just the buttons. I'd see X and I'd hit.
You still did that when we played
that
it's
trilogy.
The worst.
Yeah, I hate it.
Why did they make the X blue?
Why did they make the fucking X blue?
Literally making Y blue and X yellow would have solved that for every player of every console.
Yes, but it screwed me so bad.
Oh
I played with, but then I went back, and I started with 1 with you, and then we played 2, and then we played 3, and I don't know, 1 just wasn't as deep to me. It was I felt like for 2005 it was groundbreaking and amazing.
Especially the gameplay. The story's kind of rushed.
Yeah, but groundbreaking and amazing, and it was kind of like Assassin's Creed 1. Unbelievably good for the time. But so much better games came out in that generation after it. In both series, but.
Having a co-op game campaign too was very novel, and it's very cool. a lot of games had it in the PS2. Well, not, I shouldn't say a lot. Some games had it in the old days, but like you were like just a mirror image of player one, right?
Yes.
And so like having somebody be Dom and somebody be Marcus was very cool.
It was like you were playing single player with two people, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But it's kind of funny though, because on the contrary, I have one of my buddies. He's a little older than us. He's probably like maybe 5-6 years older. Gears of War 1 is his favorite in the series.
Wow.
Like, yep. Like, in hardcore believes that. Like, but he just, but it's it's kind of about, remember, and you should requote it. What were the three kind of gamers, Dane?
Well, this is a Mark Rosewater quote, who's the principal designer of most of the Magic the Gathering sets. He says that the three types of gamers are the player who wants to experience something, the player who wants to express something, and the player who wants to prove something.
Yes. So from I'm an experienced guy for sure, and so I can, even though I disagree with him, I understand why he has this, because to him, I was probably 16 when Gears of War was like a thing. When it first started happening, Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and I didn't start playing.
Probably older than you think. Gears of War 3 was 2011. So
well, Gears of War 1 though, that was 2005, right? I think that was launch Xbox 360.
It was close,
I believe. I think that was a launch Xbox 360 game.
Why am I thinking 08? Maybe that was 2.
So yeah, it was probably like 05 for 1, 08 for 2, 2011 for 3.
7. What is this? Oh my god, stupid. So my autocorrect, I searched Fears of War, assuming it would autocorrect, and it gave me the release date for a song called Fears of War.
I'm gonna fix the
06 for Gears 1.
So that was like 1 year after release then.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Just give me 1 second.
Can you actually pause the capture?
I can actually. Yeah, I guess I'll give you a quick pause here. And we'll be back. And now a word from our sponsors. Bud Light. A very shitty beer that is drank by a lot of Americans because of publicity.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. Alright, so we were talking about Gears of War. Gears of War 1. Yeah, I know, I have a buddy, he's probably in his early 30s. Gears of War 1, favorite game of all time. Or no, maybe not of all time, but favorite Gears game. He was actually a big Halo guy. Definitely an Xbox guy. Okay. But he loved them all. And we had this conversation. He's played 1, he's played 2, he's played 3.
I love them all, except for Judgment.
Yes. We'll only consider the first 3.
I love them all. But
I think for him, it was just that, like, jump. Like he had played Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PS1, PS2, original Xbox, whatever, and then he just bought Gears of War 1 right when the Xbox 360 came out. And it just blew his mind so hard.
It's like the Ocarina thing where like other Zeldas have come out that are better in my opinion. Get at me. And
yes,
but people are like, Ocarina was like the big jump, and this is my part of my childhood, so I love it more.
So if you had been really into the games right before it, and you experienced those fresh, and then you experienced Ocarina or Gears 1, let's say, in trailing back, and I want to talk about this for a second too, but let's say you were playing Medal of Honor. That was your biggest shooter, and then you played Gears 1. It was just like such a slam to the face, amazing, that even though Gears 2, in my opinion, was better, it wasn't as big as a jump as Xbox to Xbox 360. You know what I mean? So it just hit you the hardest. But yeah, story-wise, I think 2 and 3 are better games. I really do.
Yeah, the process is very rushed, and you can tell they tried to fit too much into the story there. But you start in 1, and Marcus is in jail. We don't know why. Dom busts him out of jail.
Yeah, we don't know why. The beginning of 1's so weird.
Dom busts him out of jail, and they're like, "Oh, we're getting on a helicopter." I might be telling this slightly wrong. It's been a while, but like, the gist is they bust Marcus out of jail. I think they get on a helicopter and just get dropped off, and then the colonel guy's like, "You are the support, son," and then he says that, and then they're like, "Go get the resonator," and then these fucking aliens just like come out.
The resonator, we need the resonator.
It's like, okay, first of all, what the fuck's the resonator? And then all these alien monster dudes just jump out of the sky and behind cover, and you're fucking them up, and it's like, my gun has a chainsaw on it, and what the hell's the resonator, and what are these like spiderweb alien monsters, and it takes forever for them to explain what the hell's going on.
Yes.
It's not
the beginning. I forgot about the beginning.
It's not something where it's like crazy and then like 10 seconds into the scene they go like 3 days earlier and explain what's going on. You're just in the game. You just get dropped into Act 2 of the story. And you're just like,
I forgot they had acts. Like, I
mean,
forgot it was like.
I mean, I was
like,
being metaphorical.
No,
yes,
but they
Gears
do
does
that.
have
They
acts.
do like Act 1 through 6, and that's like how they always do those games. I forgot about that.
They're very cinematic.
Yeah.
But that being said, the first one is not as good at that. It's very confusing until you play it through once, or you have played Gears 2 first, and you have context for most of the things.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you go back and play Gears 1 after playing the other games,
makes perfect sense.
It makes sense. But when you first start on Gears 1, you're like, what the hell is going on?
If you're coming off like Halo 2, and that's the first game you played on that's your next Xbox shooter. I mean, Halo is a very rich story that they've developed over all these years, and you go into Gears, and they're like, all right, bust him out. Let's get the resonator. like, what is happening? And I know that's the main part of Gears for most people. It's like having the bro shooter with your friends, but it's like
the story's
I really
really
care
good.
about the story. It's really good.
Remember when he has to kill his wife in 2?
Oh my god!
I mean, that was upsetting.
That's a tearjerker, man.
That was probably the most intense thing I have seen in a video game until Modern Warfare 2 and the airport scene.
No Russian.
Yes,
Yeah.
but literally, until the airport like terrorist scene, that was probably the fucking craziest thing I've seen in a video game, when he has to kill his wife, and it's like right on.
It's horrible, and you spend the first 1 2 1/2 games getting to that point. That's Dom's whole arc.
That's the side story.
Is I have to go find my wife.
Yeah, that's like the side story to the entire game.
To not just have, I was pretty confident she was gonna be dead.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way he's gonna find her. He's either gonna find her and she's gonna be dead, or he's gonna find her fine and then like she's gonna get killed in front of him.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be bad. But like to find her as like a zombie lobotomized locust monster thing and have to just like pop her and put her out of her misery is that's horrible.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I forget that. I mean, that's gotta be one of the craziest things I've seen in a video game for sure. I mean,
it's pretty.
Gears 2. I mean, Gears 2. That's
Gears
part of
2
the,
is dark, man.
That's part of the argument for that being the best Gears. I mean, I thought it would be the best Gears. I don't know. See, I'm
There's
a
no
sucker.
armored Cantus in Gears 2. That's a good argument for Gears 2 being the best Gears.
It's like the reason I like Gears 2 better. Or, I'm sorry. The reason I like Gears 3 better than Gears 2 is the same reason that I like Return of the Jedi better than Empire Strikes Back, man.
All right. As a Gears 2 and 3 supporter, I don't want to be affiliated with the Jedi camp. I'm an Empire supporter.
No, for sure.
I'm not an Empire supporter. I'm an Empire Strikes Back supporter.
Yes, and I see both sides, and I get it, but it's the same reason for me, because I don't know. I feel good when my team wins, and I think that the fact I don't think
this is what I was saying. They don't win now. They lose now because of Gears 4.
I know, but dude, it's like, you know, they lose now because of 9, but I don't give a fucking shit about 9, you know, or 8. I'm sorry. The Star Wars loses now because of Episode 8, but I don't give a fuck about 8. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, for me, like, it sucks. I'll tell you this right now. Just Return of the Jedi would not be good if it wasn't for Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi 100%, 150% needs Empire Strikes Back to even be a C+ movie. I mean, the reason that's my favorite movie is because
it's the lore
of
and
how
it's the build-up.
It responded to Empire Strikes Back. And the reason that Gears 3 is my favorite Gears is because of how it responded to Gears 2. So I love them all, but I felt the happiest in 3 and in Return of the Jedi, and that's why I like them the most, because it just made me feel good. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm a sucker for happy endings, whatever, but it's not like it was just
I like them.
It's not just a movie that had a happy ending. We had the sad movie, and then the response was like the greatness. You know what I mean? That's why I don't. It's not that I disregard the prior at all.
Sure.
It's mandatory and necessary. But
my problem with Jedi has never been. I like Jedi. I very much like Jedi.
And I like the Ewoks.
My problem has been the campiness of the whole film. Yes, it's the Ewoks.
I love the Ewoks are cute.
They spend half the movie with little bears that know how to braid hair but use spears to fight. So we're gonna talk about that, but C-3PO pretends he's a magic god to scare them, and it's like watching an episode of fucking Sanford and Son. It's so goofy. It's like
watching Sanford.
It's so goofy. And Han literally does that like prank you play on your friends in the fucking cafeteria in second grade, and like taps a stormtrooper on the shoulder and like goes the other way to like get him to come into this trap that they've set. It's so campy and lame.
It's the fucking early 80s. Who cares?
But I really like the scene in the third act, many scenes. It's like a whole thing, but like where they're constantly cutting between the Endor battle with Han and Leia and the ground troops, the space battle with Lando and Akbar raiding the Death Star, and the throne room battle between Luke and Vader with the Emperor. That's a very, very well directed series of shots. I love that whole scene.
That is
Jedi has
great.
very good redeeming moments in it.
Yes,
but it also has Ewoks.
I've said this before. I don't like Jabba the Hutt scenes very much. I like the fight scenes. I like the lore around it. I really liked the bands that played in A New Hope. It was atmosphere building. It lasted about 90 seconds. Mm-hmm. It was great. They go on for like 10 real minutes in the beginning of fucking Jedi. And it just gets ridiculous and kind of off-putting. If it was, that's my only.
Has more of it. I think you keep seeing that because that's what runs on cable. And that's.
It just drags on more weird random creatures
like Snoodles.
Yeah, I mean,
that voice.
I like the atmosphere building thing, exactly how they do in A New Hope. But man, in Jedi, they just go. I mean, it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie, you're just watching a music video from Jabba's hut.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I don't like. Literally, and I like the little like 5-minute parts where Luke comes into the hut, he threatens him. I like the fight scenes.
With the Rancor.
It's good. I like that part of the movie, but the fucking music video in the first 10 minutes I don't need it. Just get rid of it entirely.
Yeah.
Leave us like 30 seconds for atmosphere building.
You need to spin that whole scene. Yeah. I mean, because you need the scene. It shows you how Han gets saved. It shows you Luke turning to the dark side before he doesn't.
Yes, and I like all of that.
But you need to cut. I don't need the world building. You need to cut the Sly Snoodles music video and the stripper and.
Yes, I don't need to see like alien dancers for more than 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes on and on and on with them just dancing. Just, like, weird, random.
I think you've been seeing the extended edition, and there's still not an excuse, but...
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
But I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've watched my VHS tapes, but...
I don't have the VHS stuff. I have the 2011 DVDs.
Yeah, I think Sly Snoodles, who is the female alien with the Taylor's making such a face right now. He's drinking a beer.
She's like a humanoid red... alien person that like dances around hardcore.
Oh, not the dance. I'm talking about the weird frog-looking thing with the big stick mouth that sings.
Yes, that's another thing.
Yeah, Sly Snoodles. I think that whole thing is not on the VHS tape.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
But hey, man, it's there on the version that I've seen. Yeah. It just goes on for too long.
Now, the version you've seen also has Hayden Christensen as the ghost of Vader, which is a travesty. But...
Well, let me put this at you. So let's talk about A New Hope, because I think New Hope's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I could debatably say that's my favorite Star Wars because of like the nostalgia that I have with it, because I watched it by far the most as a kid. But you know the scene where the guys are playing like the wind instruments in the bar.
Yeah.
Imagine if that went on for 8 minutes and it just kept getting like way weirder than the part that you've seen. That's the beginning of Jedi, Take that away, it's unequivocally my favorite Star Wars, and it still is.
I can make it weirder for you if you'd like.
Okay.
Did you know that the band that plays in the cantina with the potato head guys, what you were talking about, the clarinets?
Yeah.
Do you know what the canon Star Wars genre of the music they play is called?
No.
Jizz. Jizz.
Obviously, that's a pun on jazz.
It's a pun on jazz. It's like trying to make it be an alien goofball word.
But they fucked that up, didn't they?
Did they fuck?
It's probably before that was like
I'm young.
slang.
That's what I was going to say. I'm 24. I don't know if in the late 70s if that was slang for that or not, but they, in post, have fucked that up.
Man, they fucked that up.
They don't ever mention it in the movies, though. It's just like if you read like a wiki entry of it, it's like, yeah, they play jizz music. It's like, man, no.
Damn. What a fuck up, man. Goddamn. So, yeah, I guess we're doing great on time here. Probably a little over an hour. So... To kind of like wrap things up a bit here, what is your most anticipated game right now? Like, it can be something that just came out or is coming out.
I'm thinking Animal Crossing probably. I've waited long enough for a new one. New Leaf came out a while ago.
Yeah.
That other than Pokemon Go, I would say that's probably like the only time I've seen like such a ubiquitous community, like when I was going to LC at the time, and walking around and just everybody had their 3DSs out and was like trading fruits and going to each other's towns and stuff, and that was I like being part of that zeitgeist of that, and I'm excited to
that was fun.
I'm excited to see that happen again with a new Animal Crossing and seeing everybody walking around with their Switches and. I just love Animal Crossing too. It's just so chill. It's such a peaceful time waster, fun game about like being friends with animals and like making a living selling fruit and shit. And it's like I don't have to like play Apex and die 500 times and want to kill myself. And sometimes you just want to have a fun little game like that. And you know, people play like Stardew Valley a lot for that reason. It's like a farming chill out game.
Yes.
I never got to play Stardew Valley, but I should.
Man, you know,
I'm excited for Animal Crossing.
Do you think there will ever be a Pokemon Go again? I mean, that was
no.
I gotta be honest. I am so happy. People make fun of that game now. Whatever. The first 3 weeks of Pokemon Go was a moment in time that humanity never had experienced, and
they'll never have that again.
Never experience.
They'll never have that again.
And I just want to make it clear, like, that was insane. I mean, there was nothing like going to Lakewood Park and spending 99 cents on a lure. So if you know what Pokemon Go is, you literally walk around in like the real world and catch Pokemon on your phone. Oh, my record player. There we go. Anyway,
that was a cool little accidental fade.
Yeah. But you literally catch Pokemon in real life based on your GPS, and you could spend $1. There's Pokestops where you like refueled your resources that were like physical locations in real life, and you could put lures on them that costed like 99 cents or something. And it would increase the amount of Pokemon that were in the area. But the cool thing was, it would do it for everybody. It wasn't just for you. If you posted a lure, everyone playing the game would look at it and see that lure pop up. So you could go into Lakewood Park, put a lure down, and we're talking like first 2-3 weeks of the game, and I'm talking 30 people would just walk up to you.
Oh, we did
within
that.
5
I remember
minutes.
we went there. We went there at the base of it, the dock area.
Yes, yeah.
And it was just us and one other couple was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some other guy. You know, there were like 5 people. There was us and then a couple and then some dude on a skateboard. And that was it. They were just like having a night. They weren't even playing Pokemon Go. And then one of us lit one of the stops with a lure, and I remember this guy and his buds coming over. He's like, "Oh, it's a party stop!" And then, like within minutes, this horde was there.
I mean, we're talking 30, 40 people,
and we're in like
not even exaggerating,
cold ass, stupid ass Northeast Ohio. Like we're not even at I mean, there's videos online of people in the Bay Area of San Francisco, and like week 1, week 2, and like some dude will be like, "There's a Lapras over at such and such," and like just stampede of people.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god. It was fun. I mean, I remember there was a night when we were out to Lakewood Park closed at 11, and there was still like 100 people there till like 11:50. Like, we weren't all in the same group. There was like 3 or 4 groups, and this cop pulls down like the cart path, like the little bike path. And he comes up and he's like, "Hey man, you guys know the park's closed, right? You gotta get out of here." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go." And like, and there's this huge group of people, just like a concert, you know,
It's confused as
just
hell.
leaving. This cop, and I'm like being a little social, or whatever. And the cop's like, "Hey man," and I walk up to his car, on the bike path. And he's like, you guys playing Pokemon Go? I'm like, oh yeah, man, Lego Park's like great for it, dude. He's like, oh wow. And I just walked away, you know.
I'll never forget driving home from my girlfriend's house at the time. There was a route I would run specifically. Not that I would play Pokemon Go and drive, because I definitely didn't. But let's say hypothetically I did.
Hypothetically,
because it was like 3 a.m. and nothing was happening and it was totally safe. But let's say hypothetically. So I would run this route to get all these stops on the way home to reload my items, and there was this there's a church pretty close to my house, and that's where I go vote and everything, and I've been there before. And so there's 2 stops in the parking lot. There's one for the church, and there's one for the baseball field behind the church. So I would go into the church and do a lap around the church, and then I would leave. And so there's this cop here, like a week or so after the game releases, and I'm like, damn it, they like know I'm coming here, and they like, someone probably reported a car coming here at 2 a.m, and I can't go here anymore, damn it. And I look at my phone, and this stop's got a lure on it. I'm like, this cop is sitting in this church parking lot at 2 a.m. with a lure on this stop, dude, playing Pokemon Go on the clock.
Did you go in church?
No, I didn't. I was too scared. But I was like, come on, like, what the hell's going on?
You know, oh my god, that fucking game, man. Now, wasn't there? Because if I remember correctly, because the game, to be fair, like Pokestops were the physical locations in real life where you would get more Pokeballs. Whatever, you get resources.
And there were gyms, which were
other physical places. But they were less common, and that's where you would actually fight other people's Pokemon, basically. Mm-hmm. And I feel like churches were actually just churches for no reason, because they didn't want to bring you to like weird, unhealthy places.
Well, it was based on their prior game. Niantic had a game called Ingress that came out before Pokemon Go. That was about finding real locations and battling there and doing geolocation shit, and they just took the data from Ingress and imported it in, and that's how they made the Pokestops, and then they added more as via community suggestion for like rural areas.
I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know there was a game before, but if I'm not mistaken, weren't churches like a super common place?
Very reliable.
For like Pokestops, and wasn't there like a church that like realized that they were a Pokestop and actually like put a thing out that was like, hey, have fun like playing Pokemon, here's like candy, you should check out our church or something.
Oh my god, yeah. This was by my old job. Yeah. There's a church with the half pipe ramp thing. You know what I'm talking about on Oak Point. Yeah. So that church, I went up there with some friends, and I swung by and I hit the stop, and there's this water cooler and a lawn chair just hanging out in front of the church. I'm like, what is this shit? And so I got out and I looked at it. There's a picture of a Pikachu, and it's like, welcome Pokemon Go trainers, have some water, like stay hydrated, it's hot out there. And you know what? There's like a youth ministry thing happening at 8 p.m. on these days. It's like, this is genius. Like, it's hot as hell, and they're giving out free water and acknowledging the Pokemon's cool. Like some mom thought of that.
Yeah, that's
whose
genius.
son plays the game.
That's so
genius.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Oh man.
That game was I still play it just because I walk around the college a lot.
Absolutely. What level are you?
Mid 30s.
Wow, 34, nice. That's deep. That's deep.
Man. Yeah, it gets harder every time. I don't play it like I used to, obviously, but it's like I'm walking around. I might as well like Gand.
That's awesome.
They're too deep now. They're on Gen 4 now, and it's like it's having the effect that the real Pokemon games had on me, where I'm getting tired of it by Gen 5. And I'm still playing them because I feel like I have to, and I have fun. But
yeah, what level are Pokemon at? 'Cause I remember when I was playing, if you had like a level 1700, you were taking gyms.
Well, it's all based on that. Oh yeah, the CP thing. I've got. I mean, it's usually around high 2s, low 3s that are leading gyms now.
Oh, so it's actually not. I was expecting it to be like way more than that. That's interesting.
I mean, they have a cap based on your player level. That's the thing. You can't increase things over a certain amount based on your player level.
Gotcha.
So like,
what's the highest shit you got?
I'm 33. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
I've got a 40-46 is my strongest.
Wow. So you can take a gym if you need to.
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, James and I play when he's home. We raid.
Wow, you're stacked, bro. You're stacked.
a lot of the community events help and stuff. The first half of my team there is Tyrannotars because they had like a Larvitar community event, and I just caught like a zillion Larvitars.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I go to that Lakeview Park by me a lot when they do those events. And I just walk around and try to burn calories and play the game. Not right now because it's as cold as Helheim outside, but during the summer and stuff.
It's a great park, man. Well, I guess, and I know I already said I was going to do the last question, but one more here.
I want to interject before you change topics.
Oh,
I want to know what your most anticipated game is, because that was where we spiraled from the Animal Crossing thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so to be fair, out and coming out. I said you could do either.
Mm-hmm.
Just came out, unquestionably, Apex Legends.
That's not an anticipated game.
Just came out.
The hell out of that.
Anticipated it would be Anthem.
Okay.
For sure. Anticipated it would be Anthem.
Apex.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Apex is the best thing since Overwatch.
Apex is the best battle royale game that has ever been made, and it sucks. I'm leaning too hard into the mic.
Oh no, you're good. I absolutely adore Apex Legends. I have never had more fun playing a multiplayer game by myself in history, unequivocally. I mean, for some, I don't know what it is. I eventually think I will be able to pinpoint it, but I can sit down and play that game multiplayer for 5 hours. I literally don't know what it is, man.
It's the fact that you die and you get pissed off and you go, just one more. That's how battle royales get you.
Yeah, I just love it.
I mean, if Fortnite wasn't trash, you would feel that way about Fortnite too.
Yeah, Fortnite sucks.
Battle royales are just like that. They're addictive, and
I really like it though, man. It's so much less. I mean, I gotta be honest, and I'm a Rust guy, so I'm a savage already. But after playing 300 hours of Rust, getting mad at Apex is just not even like a thing.
That's not.
I know it's not a thing, but it is.
It's not a physical toughness thing.
For me though,
that's insane.
I know it's that might be fucked up. For sure, that's probably not good.
You get mad for different reasons though, man. It's not like, oh, I've been dumped before, so minor things don't make me sad anymore. Man, it's different.
It is different, but
Rust, you get mad because people are demon spawn who are bad people and they fuck you.
But dying in that game isn't that big of a deal. It's really not. It's just that's the thing.
We are given finite time on planet Earth by whatever being you choose to believe in. And I don't want to spend 25 of it preparing for one firefight.
Listen.
Getting into the firefight, winning the firefight, and then getting flanked and killed from behind.
I guess this is what
that happens constantly.
Rust is a brutal game. You spend dozens of hours preparing for greatness and then fail.
That's why it sucks.
But the reward is so high. But the reward is so high. You know what I mean?
They send you a check in the mail?
Yes, they nearly do. It's nearly that rewarding. It's not quite that rewarding, but it's near. The time investment takes the same amount of time. It's ridiculous.
It's too much time investment, man. My name is Nate.
Yeah.
I'm a wowaholic. I've been in recovery for. When did I stop playing? 16. I've been in recovery for 5 to 8 years. I can't remember when I quit.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Putting in a jillion hours and making something a full-time second job for minimal payoff is not healthy or good game design or sane.
I'll tell you
and I worry about you people playing Rust.
I'll say this. After Rust, it's like, I mean, I could die 20 times in Apex and it wouldn't even come close to the amount of investment that I have risked in Rust. And I just enjoy the general gameplay. Like I guess the biggest thing is, honestly, any game that I get a kill is a success for me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I just don't like the early game. I think the mid game and the late game are very well designed. Yeah. I don't like the early game. I think that RNG is the worst. I think you're not pleasing the experienced player and the proved player by putting RNG into a competitive shooter. And I mean, I was talking to Spencer about this. This is how I think about it. It's like, I don't tilt at chess. I've never once tilted at chess.
You haven't, and I played a lot of chess with you.
And even if I lose or I'm getting my ass beat, I don't tilt at chess. And the reason is because if I lose at chess, it's because I've been outplayed. Either you are better than me, or I made a mistake, or both. And it's not that we sat down at a table and you were faster than me, or you got lucky and saw the table first, and your side of the board had 3 knights on it, and mine had 1 knight on it.
Yeah.
Because if that happened and I lost, I'd be really mad. Because it's like, if I had the same amount of knights as Taylor, maybe I would have won.
Yeah.
And that's why I cannot stand the early game in that game, is there's nowhere to go. Like, Battle Royales typically have a wuss player zone where you can kind of go on the edge of the map and get crappy gear, and you don't get into a firefight right away. And that's never really the right strategy. But
I think if you really try for that, you can get that in
Apex.
Apex.
Hard. It's really hard to do in Apex.
But you can. You can, though.
You just have to get lucky. I mean, it happened to me today. We went on the dropship, and I mean, I abused it today. And it's kind of fun when you're the abusee, but I still feel bad, and it definitely wasn't fun for that guy. I dropped on the ship, and I got a Mozambique, which is the worst gun in the game, but because he can't, in my opinion, in our whole playgroup's opinion.
No, it's the worst gun in the game.
So, I hate that gun, and so does everyone in the playgroup. But I got the Mozambique, but because he didn't have a gun, and I got to it first, and I won the coin toss, I just brutalized him. And it's like, that guy waited through 2 minutes of loading, and then he dropped onto the ship, and then he lost, and then he has to wait for the game to go back to the lobby, and then he has to wait for his whole squad to die. Then he goes back to the lobby. Then he gets to go through 2 more minutes of loading screens, and then he gets into the game after he picks his character and then lands on the ship again. And it's a huge waste of time because he lost a coin toss. I'm not better than that guy. He didn't make any mistake. I got to the Mozambique first.
He should have jumped.
That gun sucks.
Yeah.
He was in the hangar. The lower
there
hangar
are times when you get screwed in that game. For sure.
It's just bad design.
I would say 80% of the time it is in your hands, though.
And I've told you that I've had fun with that game every time I get out of the early game.
Yes.
Even if I lose in the mid game or I lose in the late game, and I get pissed off, the flanker got me, and I got like Nazi encircle tacticked.
Yeah.
I lose because of that. I had fun in the game at some points.
Yeah.
But when that early game happens, it's like getting kicked in the balls, just like, because there's nothing you can do. There's no way around it. You didn't get outplayed. They're not better than you. You got unlucky. And maybe that's just how I am. I'm definitely a prove something spike player, and I like strategy games. I like RPGs. I like chess, and I don't like feeling like dice have control over my gameplay. And I feel like it's a reflection. Like when I lose, I feel like that's a reflection on me, and I don't want that to be like, oh, look at Dane, he lost because he got outplayed. It's like, well, no, I didn't.
For sure. No, that's fair. That is very fair. Now, I will say this. For the record, a great man named Video Game Donkey once said, you got
that Yoshi.
He said you got that Yoshi. He said spaghetti and meatballs, but he also said, it doesn't matter if you are a positive or a negative critic. All that matters is consistency. So, if you don't like battle royales,
yeah, and I don't,
and you say that Apex Legends is the best battle royale you ever played,
that is true. I maintain that. I've only played 3, but I maintain that.
Then you have a legitimate argument towards the game. Like that even if you're not a battle royale guy, the battle royale community can still listen to you and realize he doesn't like any battle royales.
Yeah.
But he can and he doesn't necessarily even like Apex Legends. But if you're looking for a battle royale to play, you can listen to Dane and go, okay, yeah,
If this guy, yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And you know what, too? That game, I've been saying that game sucks because I'm just trying to be funny, and I hate parts of it. But, like,
yeah.
I think Fortnite sucks. And Apex is a game that is not for me, is how I would put it. I have fun playing it with the guys, and I will continue to play it with the guys, but it's not my kind of game. And that's how I want to classify that. That game's not for me. Fortnite's a bad game.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad game, video game. And so, like, I would never tell somebody, who likes battle royales not to get Apex. If they're into battle royales, like, this is the best one. They take out a lot of the crap from Fortnite and from PUBG and from Black Ops or Blackout that I don't like. And they add a lot of cool stuff, and the shooting is tight, and it feels like Titanfall and Black Ops, and it's awesome. But the early game's bad. Yeah, you know.
And I'd tell you this too. I like battle royales. I played a lot of Fortnite, like Season 1, like before it was even called Season 1. You know, honestly, I never played Fortnite during the Zeitgeist. The only reason I played Fortnite is because it was a knockoff of PUBG, and it was the only thing on console, and it was free. I liked PUBG a lot more than Fortnite. I probably liked Blackout more than PUBG, but they're different. It's close, but unquestionably Apex is my favorite battle royale, and unless we're talking about Zombs, but you know,
Respawn doesn't. Oh my god, Respawn isn't in the business of making bad games, so
no.
That's
exactly.
I expected it to be pretty good when it came out.
Absolutely.
I unfairly put it on a pedestal, and I said maybe this will be a battle royale that I will love because Respawn's making it. And it's like, well, it's still a battle royale. You still have the early game coin toss. You still have one life, and it's like it hurts to lose, even if that's not a bad design thing. It's like a part of the game.
Yeah,
it's a fine design
absolutely
thing. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but that's fair. Apex, Anthem,
man.
if we're talking about stuff
Anthem,
that hasn't come out.
Yeah, Anthem would be my other shout-out game for sure.
I'm excited to play Anthem. We need to get Justin to buy it so we can enforce that, because John said he's not buying it. I don't know if you were in that night or not.
I was not.
John, and you know, John's pretty friendly guy. He usually sounds kind of like wishy-washy when we ask him to do stuff he doesn't want to do. He'd be like, I don't know. But like, Spencer goes, John, you get Apex, or you get Anthem? He goes, no. just flat out. So it's like, oh, that's fucked.
Absolutely, but that's a great like player versus NPC game, like team player versus
They're gonna
NPC.
put PvP in that.
Absolutely. But you know what? I definitely think the primary game mode will always be against NPCs. I think it's a co-op dungeon crawler will always be what the game is designed around.
It's a looter shooter. It's like Destiny.
And it should be. I think that's what makes the game great. You know what I mean?
I'm very excited for that.
Absolutely.
I haven't played a good co-op game in a while, so.
I guess final shout out here. A good Gen 6 co-op game was Medal of Honor Rising Sun. You could play that entire game. That was the first game that I ever played that you could play the entire campaign co-op. But again, it was just a mirror of the normal campaign. It was actually shittier than the normal campaign, and they just talked to you like you were one person even though you had two people, but it was such a blast for the time. That's a shame the game that is unplayable now. God.
We went back like 2 years ago.
I'm willing to try again. I love that game so much.
The fog, the draw distance.
I honestly got if they did, you know, those like really terrible HD remasters where the game looks exactly the same, but they just put it in like 1080p. And then in like the normal resolution. If they did that, I'd love it. But it's just in 360p, it looks terrible. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's that, but like the fog killed me. When we couldn't see people because of the draw distance, it's like I forgot this was a thing.
God, I don't remember that being a thing. Like God, but I mean, it just looks so bad. I'm down to try again. That is one of my. Honestly, I never bring that game up, but that's definitely a top 10 for me. I love that game to death. First T-rated game I ever played, actually. Violent game, technically.
If we don't do it by then, what we should do, because you hear about the patent thing for PS5.
Oh my God!
It's supposed to have they patented it. It doesn't mean anything, but they file a patent for PS5 back compat that is for all 5 generations of PS. So if I get a PS5 and it works like that, we need to try it again.
We're doing it. Yeah. Not even a question. For sure. I mean, I own it. It's sitting in my closet right over there, man.
Or is it still at my house?
Or it might still be at your house. I don't know. But yeah, I was a huge Medal of Honor fan. I played the PS1 Medal of Honor. I played Rising Sun. I played Frontline. No, Rising Sun was my favorite. Frontline was a close second. European Assault was one of the hardest games I ever played in my life, and I beat it. The stupid thing about European Assault was like towards the end of their glory. It was like their last successful game. It was like a late PS2. Frontline actually came. So not to get too weird about it, but PS1. Then you had Frontline. Then you had Rising Sun, which was my favorite, and then European Assault was after that. But the problem with European Assault was instead of making the game overall harder, because they wanted to make a harder game. There was just more enemies.
That's so dumb.
Yes. So like by the
Monster
final boss,
closets.
I was literally facing like 30 guys like at a time, and you just had to get a rocket launcher and just go to town. It was crazy. It took me, but I fucking grinded through that game because I was such a fanboy of the series, and then after that, the series totally fell off, and Call of Duty won.
And they found the new home. Yeah.
Yep.
Battlefield took over. Call of Duty took over.
The rebranding was, as much as I adored Medal of Honor, rebranding was a good idea for them. It really was.
Yeah. They moved on. It was time. It's time for Call of Duty to go away too, but it won't.
I don't understand how they're still successful, but apparently they still sell tons of copies.
It's the non crowd. It's the people who buy Grand Theft Auto and who buy Madden buy Call of Duty.
It's so crazy, man. Like, I feel like gamers don't buy those games anymore, man.
What, Madden and Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
I don't know. I know people in our echo chamber who bought it.
Wow.
John bought it. Spencer bought it.
I mean, I was
Justin
willing to.
bought it.
I would have bought it, but
Lou bought
I don't get excited about it anymore. People just fucking buy it because it's Call of Duty. I'm a victim. Like, I almost bought it. I was like, what the hell? But God, it's just it's the same shit, man.
Yeah.
It's barely different than. I mean, literally, we can talk 10 years ago, and you can talk. We're fans, so we can talk about all these direct differences of how they're way different. But God, it's hardly different than Black Ops 1. I mean, it's just hardly different.
No. Modern Warfare is like the line of demarcation.
Yeah.
And like after Modern Warfare 1, it's like the games got incrementally better. They changed incrementally, but like, and then you hit a line probably around Modern Warfare 3, which is where they stop being objectively better than the previous game.
Yeah.
And they start kind of just being different. And you've got your Titanfall running on the wall ones, like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, and those are different than like the more grounded ones. It's weird. That series it meant a lot to a lot of people. I mean, I still remember being in high school and having people playing Modern Warfare 2 on the news program in the morning for the TV class in the background. Instead of having the news on the monitor, Brennan was playing Modern Warfare 2.
That's so funny.
It meant a lot during that time, but like, I don't know. I think it's time to it's time for the studios to do something else, man. They can. I mean, look at what Respawn did. That was West and Zampella, who were the leads on Modern Warfare 2, founded that studio, and Titanfall exists, and it's kind of similar, but it's a different game, and it's a unique thing that exists in the world now because of them. One of them's not there anymore, but one of them is still there, and Apex exists, and Titanfall 2 exists, and they're working on a new Titanfall game.
And dude, Apex is crazy successful. I don't remember what it was, but they got like 20 million active players in the first 7 days or something like that.
Well,
I mean,
that's what happens when you give your game away for free.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. It was about time a AAA studio put out a 2019 acceptable Battle Royale game, though. I mean,
Blackout's acceptable. It's just $60.
Exactly. Blackout was the literal first one, though, and it's good. But it's not even that good.
It's mechanically and visually very good.
Yes,
it's acceptable for. It doesn't look like filth like PUBG does or like Fortnite kind of does.
It was the first one to look like a modern game, but God, it was just a watered down Call of Duty. That was the Apex is a full-fledged Battle Royale game made by a AAA studio that looks like it came out in 2019. Like, that can compete with any modern video game.
Once you get the texture pack.
Yeah, once you get the... But you know what? Kudos to them for letting you play the game before the whole thing's downloaded. You know what I mean?
That's one of my favorite things about Gen 8. Is that's ready to start thing.
Absolutely. We're hitting the hour and a half mark.
Yeah. It's currently 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 in the morning. So I think we'll wrap up here.
Have to brave the frosts of Helheim to get to my car here. So...
But any shout outs, Dane? Any final comments
to whom?
Just to throw out on the cast? Anything you want to put out there, dog?
I don't know. Kareem Hunt's my neighbor now.
Oh my God, we haven't even talked about Cleveland sports. But that's right.
Kareem Hunt legitimately lives 15 houses from me now.
No,
he lives in the valley. He lives in the valley, dude.
No.
What? So I don't have confirmation on this. I know Kareem Hunt's mom lives in the valley with me.
Are you fucking me?
I have 100% certainty that Kareem Hunt's mom is in the same neighborhood as me.
You know, he is from Cleveland.
He is from Cleveland. I'm pretty sure Kareem Hunt, because he got signed by the Browns, is like getting a house in the Valley now. He's like living by me now.
Dude, that's insane.
That's my final story for the day.
That is fucking insane.
Kareem ass Hunt.
We've got something to be excited about next year, don't we?
No. Listen, man. I'm all for the points he got me last year before the incident. I'm not about the incident.
I don't even know the incident. Whatever.
You know what happened.
I haven't paid attention at all, actually.
He got let go from the Chiefs because he, like, kicked the shit out of a woman. And it's, like, on tape.
God.
So it's not cool. Obviously. I'm not. We here at the TEEsabez Show are not advocates of domestic violence.
No.
Here's the thing. 2 reasons this is stupid. Because, you know, he's a great football player. And, you know, that can't be disputed. And so you kind of want him on the team because he's a good football player. But A, Chubb's fine. Yeah. Chubb's really good.
Yeah.
And he works with our offense. Do you remember when DeMarco Murray was the 2nd overall back on our fantasy league?
He's going to be shit for us,
and then nobody had him? Because running backs don't work with every offense. Sometimes it works. CJ Spiller can go anywhere he wants. But sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, you're right.
So, 2, the Browns have only had good press for the last year now. As soon as we dumped Hugh Jackson, we have only had good press. It is, oh my God, the comeback kids, they're a team. Look at this young lad leading them to victory. Look at Baker Mayfield, and oh my God, this team's a team again. And people who don't care about the Browns and who are from Cleveland give a shit now.
Yeah.
Because it's such an interesting fucking Mighty Ducks ass story to watch. It's like the fucking Miracle on Ice.
Mm-hmm.
And what have you done? You know? You take that momentum and you're just like, let's like hire a back we kind of don't need because Chubb's fine, who's not going to work with our offense, who like on camera fucking kicked the fuck out of a female.
Yeah.
That's you're fucked. Like you're taking all that press momentum we have and you're just adding controversy into the pot. And
damn.
And may I reiterate, Chubb is fine. If we didn't have a running back at all, I'd still be kind of weirded out about this. But like, he's fine. He's doing
Chubb
real
is good.
And you know what?
Duke's fucked, actually.
Duke's what?
Well, no, I just think they're canning Duke. Actually, I think they're gonna keep Chubb and can Duke.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is like Duke was fine. He was a good third down
Duke,
back.
Duke was good, actually.
Third down back. I liked that change up with the two of them.
He was a good like hybrid receiver running back, and then Chubb was like our knockdown back.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
man. You know what? I'm gonna keep the positive mental attitude flowing for the most part of it. I still think we're good, but
we should have a good team next year. I mean, let's be honest.
The press part of it, the non-football part of it,
it's a shame.
It's a shame. I think you're gonna lose momentum. I think that's what the stories are gonna be. I think it's gonna be like, oh, these boys, but hey, they got Kareem Hunt now.
Yeah.
Do they all want to kill women? No,
think about the NFL though. It's like half the damn teams. I mean, I hate to say that. But
I understand that, but
people still root for us.
Is it, or is it just the Patriots?
No, it's dude. Think about it, man. I mean, you got Adrian Peterson, you got Ray Rice. I mean, come on.
They dropped those people. They're gone.
Adrian Peterson got back in the league.
Adrian Peterson's back. Ray Rice is gone.
Yes, he was the first guy to get faxed, though.
Yeah, and then everybody came forward, and then all those people got suspended and all that. Yeah, I understand, but it's like
it's not good.
We picked him back up. That was the thing. Is the Chiefs dropped him that day?
Yeah,
and they were like, we're a playoff contending team. They made it to the AFC Championship, and they should have won because of a bad ref call, because apparently rubbing a man's breast on his jersey is roughing the passer. But more importantly, they were a contending Super Bowl team, and they're like, I don't care, I don't want to be seen with this man.
Yeah.
And the Browns are like, fuck it, we'll take him. That's terrible press.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I don't know.
Fucking A, man. Hey, well, hopefully we still do good this year.
Yeah, I'll like wave to him on my jogs in the morning and I'll be like, hey, you're fucking my fantasy team.
You're right. That was a major loss for you this season.
Yeah, so I don't know how these people let me do this. And in hindsight, it was not very good, but when you look at that draft board, it's damn good.
Yeah.
I had Saquon Barkley, first of all, Rookie of the Year Saquon Barkley. and I had Kareem Hunt, and I had Le'Veon Bell. And now when you see that at a draft board, it's hard not to get a semi just looking at that.
Yeah.
So imagine my surprise when not one of them, but two of them, probably 3 of the 5 best running backs in the league, Todd Gurley notwithstanding, get kicked out for non-football issues.
God, what a year! And I still got the Jeremy Ross. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So.
Hey man, you get first pick next year.
Well, hey, it's been a great evening. I think we're gonna wrap up now. Just past about hour 30.
Smash that like button.
Yes.
Hit that bell for the notifications.
Subscribe to your boy. All that kind of good stuff.
Stay beautiful.
Absolutely. It's been the TEEsabez Show. We had the Dane on tonight. My name's TEEsabez. I'll catch you guys later.